Welcome everyone to another startup and automobile documentation. What we're looking at today is a 2017 Jeep Grand Cherokee Summit. This Grand Cherokee is painted in the ivory pearl tricoat exterior color. It does have smart key access on the front doors. On the key fob, you have the buttons for lock, unlock, power tailgate release, remote start, and panic. The front door panels have storage with bottle holders. It does have a premium Harman Kardon sound system, power windows, locks, and mirrors. You also have power folding mirrors with blind spot monitors. You also have two-person memory settings for the driver's seat. Summit models came standard with Natura Plus leather seat upholstery, and this one has the black interior color scheme. Open pore wood trim can be found throughout the interior as well. Both front seats are fully powered with 4-way power lumbar support. But now that we're behind the wheel, let's go ahead and start up that 5.7 Hemi. And along with Smart Key, it does have push button ignition. One of the most popular models in Jeep's lineup is this, the Grand Cherokee. The model debuted back in 1993 as a larger alternative to the smaller Cherokee. Following its launch, the Grand Cherokee was an instant hit. It uses a unibody platform, and that has been the case even going back to '93 when it debuted, making it quite ahead of its time. As of the 2024 model year, the Grand Cherokee is now in its 5th generation. This 2017 model represents the 4th generation of the Grand Cherokee, codenamed WK2, which was produced in total from model years 2011 through 2022. The WK2 Grand Cherokee shares its platform with the 3rd generation Dodge Durango, although unlike the Durango, the WK2 Grand Cherokee only has 2 rows of seats. Interestingly enough, the WK2 Grand Cherokee's unibody architecture is derived from Mercedes-Benz. The WK2 generation also marked the first time the Grand Cherokee used a fully independent suspension. Throughout its decade-long run, the WK2 Grand Cherokee got updates pretty much every year, from cosmetic facelifts to improved tech to new features and so on to keep it up to date. Arguably the most newsworthy of all those updates, though, was the debut of the Grand Cherokee Trackhawk in 2018 with over 700 horsepower. But as for the 2017 Grand Cherokee, changes that year included a new off-road focused Trailhawk trim level, a few cosmetic enhancements, and some new safety features among other refinements. Core trim levels for the US market 2017 Grand Cherokee included Laredo, Limited, Trailhawk, Overland, Summit, and the high-performance SRT. Available engines included the base 3.6-liter Pentastar gas V6, the 3-liter EcoDiesel Turbo Diesel V6, the 5.7-liter Hemi V8 like this one has, and finally the 475 horsepower 6.4-liter Hemi V8 found in SRT models. The sole transmission was an 8-speed automatic, and rear-wheel drive was standard, but obviously Jeep did offer a few different 4-wheel drive systems as well, with this Summit having Quadra-Drive II. In the instrument cluster, we have 3 analog gauges, which are your tachometer, fuel gauge, and temperature gauge, while everything else is located in this large digital info display, which can be gone through via these controls on the steering wheel. So right now we're displaying the digital speedometer. We can toggle between, well, that one or that one. Then you have vehicle info, so your tire pressure, transmission temp, basically a few extra auxiliary gauges. Any driver assist you might have, fuel economy info, trip computers, audio info, messages, and then in screen setup, various parts of the screen are configurable. It has a 3-spoke design, heated leather and wood multifunctional steering wheel. And as for controls, first on the front of the spokes, you have your information display controls on this side, along with your Bluetooth controls and your voice control button. Then on this side, you'll find your cruise controls and your adaptive cruise controls. Then on the back of the spokes, you'll find your audio controls and paddle shifters to manually shift the transmission. And the steering wheel is power, tilt, and telescopic. The parking brake is foot operated. You have your power fuel door release right here, your exterior lighting switch, panel dimmer, climate vent for the driver. On this side is your high beam, turn signal, and wiper stalk. Going down the center of the interior, you have your central climate vents. You have your UConnect touchscreen infotainment system, which we'll go over more in a bit. Your hazard switch, screen off, back buttons. Then you have some physical radio controls with your volume, power, and tuning knobs. Below that, we have your set of dual zone automatic climate controls for the front, temperature for either side, fan speed, off, auto, front and rear defrost, AC recirculation. And then you also have another set of climate controls in the actual display. You can bring up your different zones and whatnot. And in addition, exclusively controlled via the UConnect screen, you have 2-stage heated and cooled front seats, and this is also how you control the heated steering wheel. But below that, with this button, you can toggle your active park sense, which is a semi-autonomous parking system. You have your standard parking sensors right here. You can toggle your lane sense. You have your eco and sport driving modes and your traction control toggle. Behind this cover is some storage, along with a USB port, an aux port, an SD card slot, and a 12-volt power outlet. You have 2 cup holders right here. Putting it in reverse does reveal a backup camera with guidance lines. Below here, you have your 4-wheel drive low mode along with your hill descent control toggle. Right here is your select terrain dial with your different driving modes. You have snow, sand, auto, mud, and rock. And then next to that, you can control your air suspension, so you can adjust the ride height of the vehicle. Now you have a 2-tiered center console with a 12-volt power outlet down below. The glove box is lockable. Both sun visors do have vanity mirrors and lights. Grab handles. Auto dimming rear view. And on the overhead console, you have a sunglass holder, overhead lighting. With this button, you can power, open, or close the tailgate from here. Garage home link. And you have the controls for your panoramic sunroof. And finally, here is that touchscreen UConnect infotainment system in this 17 Grand Cherokee Summit. So right now we're on the radio screen. You have AM, FM, and Sirius XM. Your audio settings. By the way, this Harman Kardon system sounds outstanding. Then you have your media, so you have Bluetooth audio, SD card, aux port, anything you might have hooked up via that. With this controls button, it takes you to your heated and cooled seats and your heated steering wheel. You can also bring up your backup camera, which I've always loved, being able to bring up your backup camera without being in reverse. So you can do that here. And then you can go to your main settings menu right here with all sorts of stuff. Under apps, we have quite a lot of things, a lot of which you can already get to via the system itself. like your backup camera, climate, which is navigation already down here. But there are a couple things like a couple different apps like Pandora, iHeartRadio, and this one, which is off-road pages. Oh, your high-performance SRT vehicles from Chrysler have, you know, your performance pages. This one has off-road pages, so a lot of really cool info regarding the vehicle in terms of going off-road. Your status of your transfer case, ride height, that kind of stuff. Real-time pitch and roll. Auxiliary gauges. Shows you what select terrain mode you're in. Changes the graphic of the vehicle when you do it. So that's pretty cool having that. And then you also have your SiriusXM travel link, so you bring up local fuel prices, local weather if you have a subscription for that, as you can see. But that's just a brief gist of that UConnect infotainment system. But now we'll roll down the driver's window and have a look at the engine bay. Both front windows are fully automatic. The Summit comes with 20-inch aluminum rims. And I gotta say, I just love the look of this range-topping Summit trim level. They just make it look very high class on the exterior. Powering this Summit is the optional Hemi 5.7-liter naturally aspirated V8 engine. It's a pushrod engine with an iron block and aluminum heads, as well as 2 valves per cylinder and variable valve timing. Horsepower is rated at 360 at 5150 RPM, and torque is rated at 390 pound-feet at 4250 RPM. This engine is paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission with a manual shifting mode, and this one has Jeep's Quadra-Drive II 4-wheel drive system. Running on regular unleaded with a 24.6-gallon fuel tank, EPA estimates are about 14 mpg in the city and 22 mpg on the highway. It has a short and long arm front suspension, a multi-link rear suspension, and 4-wheel ventilated disc brakes. This one also comes with Quadra-Lift air suspension. Curb weight is roughly 5,200 pounds for a V8 4-wheel drive Summit, and max towing capacity is 7,200 pounds when properly equipped. And this pearl white paint, I've always loved pearl white paint, and when the sun's shining on it, it just looks gorgeous. The fuel cap is on the driver's side. It does have roof rails. Bottle holders on the back door panels. (60/40) split folding rear seats. Both front seats do have map pockets on the backs. You have coat hooks, grab handles on the B-pillars. And as for rear passenger amenities, you do have your own set of climate vents back here. Below that, you also have 2 USB-A ports, a household-style power outlet, and 2-stage heated rear seats for both outboard passengers. There's also a folding center armrest with 2 cup holders. And I just gotta say, the leather in this interior, in this Summit, feels absolutely wonderful. Obviously, they use the top-notch stuff in this trim level. I think there's a name for it, Natura. I think it's called. Awesome quality. And this velour trim, like suede Alcantara for the headliner and the A-pillars, just makes all the difference in classing this interior up. And of course, space back here. I'm about 6'1", the driver's seat's at a pretty comfortable position. It's pretty decent legroom and footroom back here. Headroom's really good, but I also appreciate being able to recline the back seats quite a bit with the same lever used to fold them. Then, I mean, having the heated back seats, the climate vents, it's a very comfortable back seat. Dual exhaust, rear wiper, and of course, it does have a power tailgate. With the back seats up, the Grand Cherokee provides 36.3 cubic feet of cargo space. Fold the back seats down, and you then get 68.3 cubic feet of space. Subwoofer back here, spare tire, power outlet. Always got a copious amount of space back here in these larger mid-size two-row SUVs. But anyhow, thanks for checking out this tour of this 2017 Jeep Grand Cherokee. And as always, stay on the lookout for future tours.